Hello everyone, I'm Oriana and I'm the lead manager and co-producer of this week's track, Famiversary. So I wanted this track to feel impactful, like you're in a stadium. You know those like WWE like tournaments before they like begin the fight and how they introduce themselves? I want this track to give the same vibe. The biggest inspiration of this track was actually from Teen Titans Go into the movies, where the different characters, before they go into battle, introduce themselves in a fun, upbeat way. And that's the same kind of energy that I wanted our track to also have, since this is the song that we are playing before we begin our own family tournament. Really finding the balance was the biggest thing that I had to work around. Because not only is Dr. NQ on the track, but the Noah, Kyle the Bear, and myself is on the track as well. And learning to balance those different voices, like for example, Kyla the Bears, where she has a naturally softer voice when she's being recorded, and a more chill and lax rapping style, I had to balance that with Dr. NQ's more punchier sound and of course more louder volume for the type of singer and rapper that he is as well. So learning to balance that was the biggest thing that I had to work around. But I used EQ and compression to help with that. So for the very first section, the whole song was very unbalanced, and it was because of the EQ and compressions that I was choosing to use. Once I chose different compressions and I did more research on YouTube to find the right EQ sound for the different artists featured on this track, that's when it started to sound more professional. So what I understood is what makes a track sound professional is really, does it sound studio ready? And to make it sound studio ready, it has to sound balanced, it has to sound clear, and it has to sound like something you would jam to on a day-to-day basis. So I had to really make sure Famiversary had much of a vibe as possible throughout the song, since it starts with a different intro every single time. So I'm going to carry that mindset when I do the other tracks as well. The thing I'm most proud of with this track was really being able to balance the voices and make it sound like a family coming together to be ready for the tournament. That's the biggest thing I'm proud of, and the biggest thing that I'm going to continue to implement when I look at these different tracks. Does it sound balanced? Does it sound cohesive? So you can find this track on my website, qgharmony.com. And one of the things that I think will be really cool for you guys to maybe look out for is the different sound effects that I use throughout the song for the different intros. Thank you for being with me today to learn about this track.